Hey Hermits, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dara and today I'm talking about the AAPI books that are on my TBR for this month. So if you are not aware, May is AAPI month, which is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to read some books by AAPI authors this month. So I have quite a selection, and what I am just gonna say, like my little caveat is this is like my ideal stash of books for this month. If I don't get to all of them, I'm not gonna beat myself up. I don't have the best track record with sticking to TBRs, which is why I've given myself quite a few to pick from different genres, so that I can sort of mood read within the TBR. But if I like, the gold star standard would be reading everything, but if I don't, like, you know, we forgive ourselves, we can exercise some self-kindness. So I own a couple of these physically, the rest I'm going to be reading digitally, so I'll start with the physical ones first. So first on the list is Soft Science by Franny Choi, which is a poetry collection by an Asian American author. I believe this is science fiction, but it also like explores topics like gender identity and sexuality and loneliness and relationships and like all of the emotional side of things, as well as the technological advancement and dystopia and themes like that. I don't know a ton about this author's poetry. I haven't read any poetry by her in the past, but towards the end of last year, when I was really getting in my poetry groove again, I did just buy a bunch of small, like little skinny poetry collections based on the covers, and I think this cover is stunning. So I am excited to dive into this month, and I think it'll be an easy one to tick off just because it is so short. So I'm looking forward to that. The other one that I own physically is The Descendants by Kaui, Hart, Hemmings, and I know that there is a film adaptation. I haven't seen it, but I do love the sound of the story. So this is by a Hawaiian author, and I believe it's about a man who's does she die, or is she in a coma? She's in a coma. So his wife gets into an accident and it ends up in a coma, and while she's in a coma he discovers that she was having an affair. So he goes on a trip with his kids to find his wife's like romantic partner so they can say goodbye too. And I've heard, like, it sounds like sad, but I've heard that it's like quite funny and quite hopeful, so I'm really looking forward to this one. The next book on my list is ebook, so I'll pop the pictures up here for the ones that I don't have physically. So the first ebook that I'm planning to read this month is The Heart Principle by Helen, Wang. So this is the third installment from the Kiss Quotient series, which, as you know, is a very popular romance trilogy. I mentioned this, I believe, on the series I want to finish video, so if you haven't watched that, do like go and check out some of the series that I want to get through this year. I'll pop the link in the description box. But The Heart Principle is written by Helen Hoang, like I said, who is a Vietnamese American author, and her books do center like the Vietnamese culture, as well as autism is always represented in there, mental health is always represented. I thoroughly enjoyed the first two installments. I read them both really quickly, and I do think it's probably going to be similar with The Heart Principle. I've heard that it's less lighthearted and less fun and a little bit more serious and dark, but I'm okay with that. The next book that I have on my Kindle that I want to read for AAPI month is China Rich Girlfriend by Kwan. So I thoroughly enjoyed Crazy Rich Asians, and I immediately bought China Rich Girlfriend and then didn't read it. So this is the month for that. If you don't know, Crazy Rich Asians, the series, tells the story of some crazy rich Asians. So specifically, we have a relationship between a couple who are traveling to Singapore, and our female protagonist really knows nothing about her partner's family, and her partner is obscenely wealthy. and he's just never told her. So she is thrown in when she arrives in Singapore to this life that she just doesn't feel like she belongs in. She feels very much like an outsider, and they make her feel like that. And I'm trying not to give too much away just because it's a series, and so I don't want to spoil the first one, but I'm excited to see where the story goes in installment number 2. The next Kindle book that I would like to get to this month is I've forgotten the name now. Is it Everything You Never Told Me, or Everything I Never Told You? I need to check. Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. And this is I think slightly more of a thrilling book. So this tells the story of a family who has 2 children, and their favourite child is murdered, basically. So the favourite child of the family is murdered, and it's about the rest of the family navigating that loss and trying to figure out what happened, but also trying to find their new normal. I've heard great things about it, really great things, and I wanted to add this to the list just because a lot of the choices that I have this month feel quite light and fun and romantic or dramatic, like things like that, and sometimes I really do get in the mood for something a little bit darker, a little bit more mysterious. So this is there just in case that mood takes me, because like I said, I'm a mood reader and I want to set myself up for success here. The final Kindle book that I would like to read this month is Brown Girls by Daphne, Palasi, Andreades. I think I'm saying that right. And this centers a group of friends from Queens, and they are all from immigrant families, and it's just their sort of little community and their lives, and I just think it is going to be a good time. I love books that center friendship as a really strong theme, so I think I'm going to really enjoy it. I've heard wonderful things about it so far, and there's no reason for me not to love it too. I then have 2 books from the library that just came in that also fit the theme, which I'm thrilled about. So first up we have Home Remedies by Xuan, Juliana, Wang, which is, I believe, a collection of short stories about a series of Chinese American millennials. And this is not something that I've really read much about. Obviously I've read a lot of like sad girl millennial fiction, but not a lot of it has been about like the immigrant experience or the Chinese diaspora. So I'm definitely looking forward to diving into this, because I've slowly and surely been getting into short story collections. I wanted to make sure that I had one on my TBR for this month, and this one just called out to me. The cover is beautiful, the synopsis sounds great, and I think it's going to be a great time. The last book that I want to try and get to this month is The Tiger Mum's Tale by Liao Butler. And this tells the story of a Taiwanese girl who is living in America and has no real connection to her family in Taiwan until one day she inherits a massive amount of wealth, and she has to travel to Taiwan to sort of deal with the extended family and deal with the ramifications of that. And as soon as I saw the cover, as soon as I read the synopsis, I knew it was something that I wanted to read. I think it's going to be full of like family chaos and drama, which I love. I think there's going to be a thread of romance, which I also love. I just think all in all it's going to tick all of my boxes. So that's probably the one that I'm most excited about reading this month. Just don't tell any of the others. But there you have it. There's a selection of books by AAPI authors that I'm very excited to read this month. I would love to hear from you if you've read any of these books. By all means, pop your thoughts in the comments without any spoilers. But I would also love to hear your recommendations. So if you have a book that you've loved by an Asian American or Pacific Islander author, I would love to read your recommendations too. So hit the comments, share your thoughts, and maybe we will find a few new faves for my next TBR. So I'm gonna love you and leave you for now, but I will see you in my next upload. Have a great day.